What's good with you folks? It's your boy DJ T, G.Rey, T.O, looking for trouble back in here again. We are back doing something, man. Can't be together, but we got to do another video for y'all. This time, we're going to be talking about what we saw on Twitter recently with the whole... Who tweeted that out? Was that Rap Caviar or some Spotify account?
On Twitter.
One of them white folks trying to cause a hip-hop discourse and debate on Twitter. It was a graphic of Mount Rushmore of the 2010s, and it had Kendrick, Cole, Drake on it, and a question mark. You had to pick one person to fill that fourth spot, who would it be? And Twitter was in an uproar about it. It was a fun couple days on the timeline, seeing everyone say why their music opinions are wrong, even though music is subjective. And yet here we are about to do the exact same thing. So, before we get started with who we think, is there any objection to the names already mentioned, or like the Drake, Kendrick, and Cole already like solidified at least for the 2010s?
100%. I mean, Drake is the just won Billboard's Artist of the Decade. Cole just tied Drake, or passed Drake, and Drake will tie him with having the most #1 albums like on release. He has 6 in a row. And Kendrick is kind of self-explanatory, like the fact that his presence and his name still commands so much weight, even though he hasn't dropped albums in 4 years. I think he's probably the best out of the three of them. I think that they're easily solidified. We've been calling them the big three all of the 2010s anyway.
I feel like some people have called them the big three. I feel like some people have actually called Drake, Nicki, and Wayne the big three, though. People are just having a lot of different opinions about it, which I'm finding interesting. I didn't realize how many people had like just...
Wayne is more 2000s. Like, he's not this generation. Even though he's the same age as these guys, his time was before then. I do think Nicki can get thrown into the conversation, but we'll probably talk about her later for the fourth spot. But I think Cole, Kendrick, Drake solidified top 3 2010s.
Yeah, no debate. Them three dudes. Them were probably the only 3 rappers that could surprise drop, and like everybody can stop what they're doing.
Yeah,
well, guaranteed them 3.
Gun to your head, you had to take one of those 3 off. Who would it be? Gun to your head.
Okay, wait. Let's clarify. Do we mean personal preference, or do we think who is the least popular consensus-wise amongst the culture?
I'll give you both. I'll give you personally, and I'll give you like in terms of who you think culturally.
Personally, I'm getting rid of Kendrick. I like his music, but it just never clicked with me on that same level. And I've had issues with his production, me not liking certain songs, some of his production. And I feel like his album that I know people are going to hate on me for, but To Pimp a Butterfly, I feel like it's overrated. Not bad, just overrated. I don't feel like it's a classic. I feel like he capitalized on the time period that it dropped, and that's why it's held in such high regard. But for me, the music still doesn't hit the same way that some of his other projects or other classic projects I consider hit. So I'm getting rid of Kendrick for my personal preference. But for me, I've always thought that Cole was #3, right behind Kendrick being #2 and Drake being #1. So I feel like the consensus would get rid of like Cole, just because, I don't know, I've had too many arguments with niggas over Kendrick, Cole. I'm talking me just trying to celebrate my boy Cole, and niggas just coming. Hey, I'll never forget, it was freshman year of college. It was January 28th. It was Cole's birthday. I played all of Cole's projects that day. I think it on Forest Hills Drive was the last one that got released. So I played from the warm-up up to Forest Hills Drive, and my neighbor in my dorm I walked outside, he's like, hey, I've been hearing you bumping Cole all day. I'm like, yeah, man, you know, it's January 28th, Cole's birthday, we gotta celebrate. He's like, yeah, but Kendrick's better.
What's wrong with you, bro? What the heck? You tripping, bro? You tripping?
just dead asses. By the way, Kendrick's better.
Yeah, so I do
Fuck
feel
up
like
your whole mood.
Yeah, I was just trying to celebrate, be happy, you know. But hey, people want to come out and hate. So yeah, I do feel like people, and it's never been we don't like Cole. I even had to rein back in my Cole support because I realized I would ride so hard for Cole that people would be like, he's good, but he's just not good on the level that you're making him out to be. So I had to rein that back in, but I've never really seen that so much with Kendrick. If people really think Kendrick is like that nigga, like that level of bars, that level of creativity, and he is definitely high tier in all aspects of music. But for me personally, it just doesn't work. But I think, yeah. I'm thinking I'm putting Cole as number 3. I think people will get rid of Cole.
Tim, who you going?
Personally, both probably J. Cole, just because I connected with Drake first out of all of them, and Drake's a different type of nigga. Like people that dislike Drake, I'm convinced just hate him. Like I feel like it's very hard to find shit to dislike with Drake for some reason. But I would keep Kendrick just because being an artist, like I appreciate like versatility and stuff more. I feel like there was a point, well, just when he put out Damn, where he was actually like challenging. Well, 2017 was that nigga's year. Like he had a full year where he was the king before like Drake came back into his shit. So I would give him just that alone. Like, okay, you gotta like respect that. I feel like J. Cole's always kind of just, he's been like cool. It's like everybody fucks with him and stuff like that. But he's never had like a moment where the crown is his for like a full year without like somebody else like coming in and, you know, taking that back. I disrespect him because J. Cole is amazing and he is well deserving of his spot. But if I had to take one out, it would be him. Do
y'all remember when on like Forest Hills Drive when Cole was all like, "Oh, fuck the crowns. There is no more kings. We have to get rid of this kings and crowns and running the game. Who cares?" And niggas.
That white man was trying to integrate black culture. He said we need to destroy our kings.
No one cared. No one listened. No one listened. If I could split Drake's career up, I would get rid of Drake, but I can't do that. If I could get rid of like everything post if you're reading this, because I don't even honestly need views. Views to me is overhyped. I don't think it's the worst album that Drake has, but I don't hold it in as high as regard as everyone else does. But I feel like everything past, if you're reading this, has kind of just been like okay, I'm just gonna do whatever like the wave is, and you know, I'm Drake at this point, so whatever I'm doing, like it's just kind of just pop shit at this point. It's not anything that's trying to test the waters or trying to push the boundaries and shit. I feel like Take Care, Nothing Was the Same, Thank Me Later a little bit, but especially Take Care and Nothing Was the Same. I feel like those two albums especially, he was trying to at least push like something new for real with his sound. And I feel like he's had moments of that since then. Feel No Way is off of Views, I'd say. Some tracks off of More Life had some moments like that. But it's not anything where it's pushing it like he used to be. And I get it, you know, he's Drake at this point. You know, by 2015, 2016, he's already like the #1 rapper. So I get it for him. He doesn't really have to do as much. But if I could split Drake's career up from like 2015 on, I'd get rid of 2015 past Drake. But since I can't do that, it's pretty much Cole all the way down, unfortunately. And it's no diss to Cole. I just think that he's one of those rappers I feel like that benefits from the decade that he's in. I feel like if he was in the 90s or if he was in like a different era, I don't think he would have shined as much. Just because as he is in his raps, he's a very like I guess it's like the rappers call it like, you know, like the real nigga in the raps, where he's gonna like say everything that's real, everything he's saying is some truthful shit. So it's gonna live on forever. And it's nothing like wrong in his statements, but it's just, there's nothing else about it. Like at least with Kendrick, I feel like Kendrick can be saying like the same type of real bars or whatever, but he'll deliver it in a way that's unique to Kendrick. I feel like Cole kind of does it in a way that I've heard from a Nas, or I've heard from a Rakim, or I've heard from whoever else beforehand. So it's not necessarily anything unique with him, but damn, face call time.
Face call time.
No, did I say face call time?
Yeah.
My bad. Cole is one of those rappers where like I was saying, I've heard what he mentions and what he talks about from different rappers previously. So it's not like there's anything unique in terms of how he delivers it that's gonna draw me to him more so than a Kendrick or even a Drake. Because at least Drake was doing some new stuff with like, you know, I'm emotional, I'm sad, and I'm lonely and shit. But he was like one of the first ones to kind of bring that out. So that's something new that you credit to Drake. And that's what makes him unique in my eyes. But moving on, to answer the question that Twitter posed, if there were a fourth person in that Mount Rushmore spot, who, in y'all's opinion, do you think it would be?
This was hard to pick because I didn't want to pick a fourth person. I don't really care for any of these people now.
Really?
Yeah, so I know who it should be, but like I don't like that person's music. But I think LeBron tweeted out Future, and I couldn't not agree with him. But I don't like music. Honestly, everybody I would put in the fourth spot aren't really people whose music I particularly mess with. It's just like I know from cultural significance, these people are the ones that would be contending for the fourth spot.
Mm-hmm. I would say I would agree with Future. Like objectively, I feel like we all kind of agreed before we started this that it is Future. Right? Yeah. Just objectively, just because you can literally fit his whole career from like racks, from racks on racks on racks, all the way up to now. Like you can fit all that in the 2010s. His whole rise.
Yeah.
So I feel like objectively, it would be Future.
Out of any rapper, the one that could possibly has more hits than Kendrick and Cole is Future. I don't know how he compares sales-wise, but he's got to be up there. I don't know if he's more than either of them, but I think just stats-wise, he might have surpassed either Kendrick or Cole.
Yeah, let me do some quick numbers for you, but keep on talking.
Yeah, I think he usually does like 100. Kendrick and them be doing 300-400, but
if he's doing 100,
without so much shit, he just
100 without bundles.
Yeah, Future is more like a single. Well, he's like more a single artist.
So
well, I know.
I'm just going off of Spotify right now. I'm just going off of just monthly listeners right now. Kendrick, off monthly listeners right now, Kendrick has 26 million monthly listeners. Future has 28 million monthly listeners. Cole has 30 million monthly listeners, but he just dropped an album.
Yeah, he just dropped.
I would say, objectively, I would pitch Future, but we're not here to be
objective.
Yeah, we're here to look for trouble. Ha 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 ha.
My second pick would definitely have to be Nicki. And again, not a Nicki fan, but you can't discredit her being probably the greatest female rapper, the rapper that has shown just as much, if not more, versatility than Kendrick as far as her way of delivering bars, changing up voices, etc. I won't say she did that before Kendrick, but I think I was aware of her doing it before Kendrick. That's always been kind of her thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, she came up with, the previous generation's like big three, I guess. Well, not really. Drake and Nicki are definitely 2010s, but she came up under Wayne, so she's in that Young Money umbrella. I do think that the biggest thing holding her back is she never seemed to really grow out of that. Like she's still like, Wayne is Wayne, and Drake is Drake, and Nicki is Nicki. But Nicki is Nicki, but she needs Drake and Wayne. Like, that's why every time there's a big, like, Nicki song that comes out or Nicki project, she has Drake and Wayne on there because she knows, like, that's pretty much the only time we even see them together. Like, Drake don't got a Nicki and Wayne verse. Wayne don't have a Nicki and Drake verse. It's always Nicki needs Drake and Wayne. That's why we have what's that Seeing Green song out right now for her new her old project that she's re-releasing. She needed a Nicki and Wayne and Drake verse. So I feel like that's the thing that's kind of like holding her back, which is why I'm definitely putting her behind Future. But if Future wasn't there, then she'd definitely be number 4.
Now that you say that, it's actually funny because Nicki and Future low-key had the same kind of like career moment, I think, in terms of they blew up and then they both kind of went pop a little bit. Like around Future, like what was that album? I think it was the Honest album, and he was dating Sierra and shit. And it was like he started to go a little pop. He got like some backlash for it. So then instead of, staying pop, he said, fuck that. I'm going back on mixtape shit. I'm dropping Monster, Beast Mode, 56 Nights, Dirty Sprite 2. He went on that legendary run that kind of elevated him to that status. Nicki kind of, in my opinion at least, just kind of stayed pop. And then eventually, like she was doing Starships and like a bunch of like just EDM type tracks that's like, this isn't really like I get what you're doing, you're trying to expand your brand and do all that, but she wasn't serving like a rap album for me at least. And then she came back 2014 and had like that little run where she was doing a couple songs. She did the Danny Glover remix, that Boss Ass Bitch remix, Looking Ass Niggas. So she had like a little run in that year, but after that it was kind of like, it was kind of done. I think she lost her beef with Remy Ma.
Yeah.
She Cheater, I feel like is just a scathing diss. It's not the most scathing diss because I think Drake still got that title.
I give it to the Game. For 2010's with Pest Control, he murdered Meek a second time.
I forgot about Pest Control.
Pest Control was hard. He said, like, what did he say? The Meek should inherit the earth, so I had to dig your ass up because Drizzy buried you first. I was like, oh, and I'm a Meek fan, man. And that shit just hurt me, dog. I was like, oh, man.
Is it sad that we haven't mentioned Meek at all in this?
I was gonna potentially get to him. Like, I feel like he's not worthy, but like if we didn't have Nicki and Future, then Meek's my fourth favorite rapper. So yeah. And
even with that, I would still put Big Sean above him.
My issue with Big Sean is that I feel like Big Sean's first two albums are trash, like absolute garbage. I don't listen to any songs on either of those, maybe one. And then Big Sean has always had the issues of like him being quote unquote kind of corny.
You can say the same shit about J. Cole though.
See, I fight niggas when they say that. Adamantly disagree about J. Cole. But yeah, I think you could argue Big Sean. I think he's in that conversation. But
That's what I was gonna pitch. Like I said, I honestly, if I could leave it at 3, I would leave it at 3 just because the other ones I don't really listen to as much. So out of all of these, I would say that I do listen to Big Sean the most, but I haven't listened to him in a couple of years just because of all the stuff he said. Where it's like, it's hard to get past the corn. Detroit is the only like old shit from Big Sean where I can listen to the whole thing in its entirety. Everything before Dark Skies, but you could always see like, he would have moments where it's like, oh shit, like this nigga can have like hit making potential. Like, and he got his lyrics when his shit is on point, which a lot of people don't have that combination of the two. So I think by the time 2015, whenever Dark Sky came out, he finally kind of reached the point people were trying to put him at. You know, Charlamagne started the whole, oh, Big Sean should be in the Big Four type deal, because I never saw him like that really until Charlamagne started pointing it out. And low-key, like, at this point, I think Big Sean definitely is like top 5 just in terms of like that group of rappers where it's like, oh, they can rap and like they're, I guess, mainstream, not necessarily just like popularity. Like I guess like the Coles, the Kendricks, Drake to a degree. So I would just go with him, I guess, if I had to pick a 4th, because I do enjoy him out of all the people I listen to. Future was like gonna be mine, but we're not gonna use Future, and I don't really like post like 2016 Future like that. So
how are y'all's thoughts on someone who's like a alternative rapper, kind of like a Tyler or like a Childish Gambino?
I was gonna pitch Tyler, but like that's an acquired taste. Them first couple albums are an acquired taste. Yeah,
you can't really say Tyler in terms of like mainstream, I guess, hasn't done anything until like maybe 2016, 17, like what, Flower Boy, I guess, would be like the mainstream arrival. But if you're like a fan of his, and I guess you could say the same thing with Gambino too. That's what I was gonna say. But
Gambino, has technically?
I would say Gambino really arrives when he stopped rapping, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, I count Gambino's start as before because of the internet, and then after that, am I forgetting a project? Because doesn't it just go straight to Awaken My Love?
It was just so why.
Yeah. I feel like, kind of as soon as he like reached that point in the rap game, he's kind of stopped rapping and started doing other stuff. Yeah. Now I want to throw out, and I'm confused as if I should count him because he's not technically from this decade, but Kanye has had My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was 2010. Yeezus, I think that our life, the life of Pablo.
Watch the Throne.
Now, I know Don like that album.
Yes, Watch the Throne. You have to count it.
Yeah, Watch the Throne too. Those are 2010 albums, and now they're early 2010, so we kind of forget about them. Mm-hmm. But I think you could argue that Kanye could be in the Mount Rushmore for both 2000s and 2010s.
I would put someone like Travis Scott over that, because I feel like Travis Scott more so influenced sounds on, well, I won't say influence, but like his influence on Yeezus, I feel like what was very prominent. Kind of like how Kid Cudi's influence on 808s was very like, okay, you listen to Kid Cudi after you listen to 808s, it's like, okay, these are Cudi songs, essentially. I don't think anything on Yeezus is like a Travis Scott song, but it sounds very much like some shit that he would have done.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. That's why I don't like Jesus, because I don't like Travis Scott. So I don't want to throw his ass out there either.
But, I mean, in terms of someone like Travis, it's kind of got his run 2013, 2014, and it seemed like as soon as he, like, got big, he got big. Like, Rodeo dropped, and everything went. Like, I could definitely see Travis being one of the names as well on that, like, Mount Rushmore, just because, like how I was saying earlier, everyone up there, in my opinion at least, maybe minus Cole, but, you know, we gonna leave him alone. Everyone kind of has their own, like, sound, and everyone kind of brought something unique to hip-hop, at least in terms of their own style. And, you know, niggas just kind of running with that style. So I would definitely put Travis, like, even on, if you're reading this, Drake literally took or had the Travis feature because he was the cool feature at the time and had his own sound, even though...
I hate it.
Yeah,
I
was gonna say, he literally just did, like, his own song with the feature, but, I mean...
Yo, that's Travis's thing. Travis legitimately just attaches a new song, like, on the 21 Savage Out for the Night. He just, like, completely switched up the beat, different flow, and then it's the Travis verse. And I'm like, this is, like, practically its whole... Like, we need to make something determining what is considered a new song. Like, Sicko Mode, I think it's practically 4 songs. It's 4 completely different beats, different flows. It's like these could be their own individual things.
But hey, that's a thing though. And it's a thing that, at least in like the mainstream sense, is new. So we gotta at least give him credit for that. Do we like it? Debatable. But at least we gotta give him credit for it.
I don't.
Okay. And then, yeah, I can't ignore something like the numbers that Astroworld did, and just like that run in particular, like that Astroworld run was something different. I haven't seen something like that before, like in terms of just coming out the gate and having a whole big ass production like Travis did for everything. So I just gotta give him respect for off that run alone, really. But it was everything leading up to it.
If we're doing Mount Rushmore for rappers that pull the baddest bitches, Travis is up there.
Yeah.
Up there.
That's a whole nother list though.
Rihanna, Kylie Jenner, he's up there.
But Kylie Jenner, his baby mama. Yeah, nigga, he won.
Yeah. Billionaire.
Talk about generational wealth. Talk about generational wealth. But if we're just being objective, we'll say Future. But once again, gun to your head, 4th pick. Who would y'all select? We'll say.
Do we have to debate it?
Who would you pick?
Me personally, I would pick Wale, but we're not gonna debate it.
Oh.
Wait. This nigga snuck that nigga in there.
I feel so bad that Wale's not on there too, because he definitely had the skill to be. He just
Wale has been consistent the whole 20. When you look at his catalog, this nigga low key be on the charts more than like Cole and Kendrick. Like he has like he got that over them niggas. Like he know how to niggas sleep on Wale. It's just that the albums don't come together, bro.
That's
He's
what
a
I'm
singles
saying.
and a lyric. Like he has 2 out of the 3. Like if you wanted to really debate.
Wale is one of them rappers where like, oh, he should have been in the 2000s. He'd have ran the fucking 2000s, I feel like. Because Wale's whole, or like, the big Wale songs are always the one where it's like, I'm finna rap, and then I got this R&B nigga to do the hook. And that was the whole 2000s. Like,
that's the shit he got inspired.
The Matrimony with Usher, the shit with Miguel.
And Jeremiah just over and over.
Yeah, bro, yeah. He do that too much. But saying Wale, if I had to, and I'm not saying Future, I'll say Travis. Gary, who you saying?
If I had to, and I'm not saying Future, then I'm throwing my nigga Logic.
Now you lying. Now I know it's lies.
I'm capping. It's Nicki. It's Nicki for sure.
All right, well, I think that's all we have for this one. Let us know in the comments what you think. Who you think the 4th rapper should be for the 2010s, if there should be a different pick. I know some of us said jokingly Logic, but are there any other rappers from the 2010s that we might be missing? A$AP Rocky maybe hasn't been mentioned at all.
That's what I was gonna say.
Really?
Yes, not Big Sean, A$AP Rocky.
I wouldn't say A$AP Rocky. I feel like he hasn't done. I feel like he hasn't done enough. Because he only dropped like what? He only dropped like what? 3 out, like 3, 4 albums, really like that.
What's the test? What 3 or 4?
rappers like him and like Schoolboy, I put them like a tier below, but like you might have had like a year, you might have had like a summer where like your one song or like your single was rocking, but like you didn't have like a run, I would say, you know?
I don't care about.
And this is coming from someone who's like I like Schoolboy Q way more than Kendrick actually, personally. But in terms of just impact and shit that you was doing in the 2010s, I don't think niggas is listening I don't even think niggas is listening to that part no more. I think that was his biggest song, either that part or Studio. Can't really do much with that. And people like him, Joey Badass, I feel like was another one where it's like, you might be able to, but he ain't doing enough. So it's kind of tough.
Kendrick drop, and Joey Badass is in Kendrick, so he can't do that and still be in this conversation. But he was in that movie. It's pretty decent. So,
and he wasn't Mr. Robot. Shout out to Mr. Robot. I love that show. If you listen this far, we fuck with you forever. It's been your boy DJ T,
G.Rey.
Yo.
You're looking for trouble, and you found it, motherfuckers. Peace.
Bye.